Hello. For quite a number of years, I've speculated over the project known as Darien, which was a project of an enterprising nature that went to Panama. It was apparently funded by a fifth of all Scottish income at the end of the 1690s. And the thoughts of Darien have been with me for some years since Dr. Mark Horton presented his archaeological work on TV. I communicated with Mark Horton about the project, but recently the information that is published about Darien, I'm starting to think doesn't run very true. And based on the comments of Dr. Mark Horton, that Darien was seen to be a project that was a good idea at the time, in 1698, makes me think that maybe what actually happened at Darien wasn't as the history tells us. As most of us know, history and archaeology does lie, and the Darien project is no exception to this. And I've decided that in the next few months to present a lecture about my Darien findings, which will be illustrated to my students of Archaeology Cymru, and then I'll place that online. Just a few facts. The Darien project itself was an attempt of the Kingdom of Scotland, its independent parliament, from the English crown, but at that stage there was a united king over both lands of England and Scotland, King William, and the Darien project took place over the Isthmus of Panama, and was a project that seemingly looked to the disaster of the Scottish kingdom, meaning that by 1707 the parliaments of Scotland were amalgamated with the English Parliament, and Scotland as a political entity ceased to exist. Therefore Scotland became England. King William II is said not to have supported this project, and it's said that the project was so disastrous that it culminated in the financial ruin of the Scottish state. My biggest question here is, and I would love people's comments, I don't want any ridicule over this, because I want to build in what people think about this. My synopsis is this, that maybe Darien is blamed for another serious pressure that the English Parliament was placing against the Scottish people. I don't believe for 1 minute that 5 ships with goods and 1,200 people were enough to act to the ruin of Scotland in the first and then the second and last expedition in the 1700s. I don't believe for 1 minute that that could have been the cause for the collapse of the Scottish economy. Based on this, we look about the English attempts to settle the Americas, and we all think about the Mayflower, and we all think about ships going out there. Some of those expeditions were not successful. Some were. Most of the people from England who went on those expeditions, including people from Scotland and Ireland, did not add to any ruin of the English economy. And it seems highly unlikely that 5 ships could have ever contributed to any ruin of the Scottish economy. Some of those ships did get back, some of the individuals did get back, and I know some of you would say that some of the people from the expedition who did get back from the first expedition, just over 300 people, were discluded from society, but it was their money that they used. And very little of the other outriding money from the peoples of Scotland. And I think it's a very damaging idea that the project in Darien in any way contributed to the collapse of, one, the Scottish economy, and the amalgamation of the Scottish state with the English state. So that's going to come up in a few months' time, but I'd like people's comments on Darien, and I've got another area that I'm going to discuss in a few moments. Thank you very much.